Welcome back to the Wargaming.net Gold League. There is a global stage waiting. We are trying to find the best team in America so far. That is Fulcrum Gaming with their 2 victories, Season 1 and Season 2. You saw the highlights of Season 2 in that video. And there's a lot of highlights that are going to happen in Season 3. This is Week 1, Day number 2 of the group play. And we are waiting to make sure that all the players of SIMP and hashtag, we got to do it right, hashtag RU is ready to go here. And I believe the first map will be chosen once we have the face-off. And the face-off we always bring in. If people that are new, we bring the team captains on. We have a little interview. They have some challenging words for each other, and then we do the coin toss. And the higher seed between those 2 teams, checking my notes real quick, is going to be SIMP, because they're the number 2 team.
Of course it's SIMP, right?
Yeah. Of course. Pretty self-explanatory. Well, the face-off is ready, guys. Go ahead and jump into it. SIMP versus hashtag RU. Gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to Season 3 of the Gold League.
Hey, nice to be here. I had to check my notes to make sure we're supposed to be here today.
Well, that's reassuring. Abrasive. Last night we saw you guys perform very, very well, and with that victory, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings moving into day number 2?
We're feeling good. Last night was kind of crazy. So, but it turned out to be some kid in his basement, D. Dawson. So, Putin called me up a little while ago. Said it's all taken care of. He's on to the Siberian Gulag, so we shouldn't have that reoccur the rest of the season. So with that, I feel confident tonight.
Well, Mac G, I'm sure you feel very confident. You're a team that's proven not 1 time, but 2 times in 2 seasons. It's the number 2 team so far. Strong contenders for number 1. You guys have brought Fulcrum Gaming to the brink both times when you faced them in the finals. So what have you been doing as a team to prepare for Season 3?
For Season 3, with the holidays, it's been tough. I've been trying to enjoy the holidays, the break as much as I can. So we're just focused on maintaining our composure and keeping that mental toughness that we need to win in these highly competitive matches.
Mac, a lot of teams have been saying that they think they can kick you out of your seat at the top of your bracket. What do you say to those challenges?
I hope they can. I dare them to. We've been waiting 2 seasons for someone to do it. It hasn't happened yet. So we're excited to see if they're up to it.
Abrasive is hashtag RU. Are they up to it?
We'll see.
All right, Abrasive, do you have any words for Mac G from SIMP before we start off this match?
No, just usually look forward to the matches. I love you, Matt.
Mac, any response?
The feeling's mutual.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Good luck.
Way to crush dreams there, Mac. All right. SIMP, you have the higher seed. Heads or tails on the coin flip?
We'll go with tails.
Tails is the call, and it lands on tails. So are you going to choose the map or defer?
We'll defer.
Defer. Abrasive, what will be your map choice for hashtag RU?
We'll take steps.
Steps will be the first map. SIMP,
We'll take the
spawn?
north.
North side for SIMP. RU will spawn to the south for steps. Gentlemen, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you have it. A match made in heaven or a match made in hell. We're going to find out as these 2 duke it out. 7-on-7 format, again, is influential with steps compared to pub games, right? Pub games, 15-on-15. You got tanks almost everywhere, especially those long-range tank destroyers.
Yeah, well, TDs really rule open maps.
Yep.
In a 15v15, certainly. In 742, it's a little bit more delicate of a situation, because a TD is its vulnerabilities are being flanked, and that's really it. If it gets flanked, you're in a big deal. You're in a big problem because you generally have a mobility issue with a tank destroyer. You have a great gun, great DPM, usually some solid view range, at least for the most of the TDs that are actually could be used. I mean, like Jagdpanther 2 or the Waffentrager. They're relatively soft though. So TDs are nice, but the thing is you've got 2 real lanes that teams are going to use. They're going to go far west or they're going to go maybe far east. And I don't know what you think, Clutch, but I'm a fan of the far east right now of this map.
Well, we saw that with Fulcrum Gaming last night.
Yeah.
Because of the changes on the east, you have that little divot that allows some better cover on the eastern approach. Before on steps, we saw a lot of teams, especially those spawning to the north, going into that eastern valley. I almost call it the Gerudo Valley. or Gorodu Valley, how you pronounce it, from
Oh yeah, with the rocks
Legend of
rolling
Zelda.
down.
Yeah.
I see what you're going for there.
It's, it's got desert and it's dark. Anyways, so you would see a lot of advantages using Pershings, using T-32s, popping up next to the little mountainous terrain, and using the hold down position to maybe get a couple flank fires into the 1390s.
And
that are
then
spotted
from
by
the
the
north,
T1s.
you did have an advantage. If you got into the hold down position, it was safer. From the south, it's really dicey to kind of
But
make
that's
your
I
move
keep
to the
thinking
east.
I keep thinking of Fulcrum Gaming spawning from the south and moving up to the north in the finals
Oh yeah.
of at Vegas, and how they pushed up. They had one of the T-69s scouting for a bit, and then they pushed up with their heavy tanks, and the T-1s got behind them, and they fly capped, and they got the cap.
Yeah, and also I remember another time against, it was Pub Stars, where Fulcrum Gaming did that. They actually countered out a northeast push by going just along the ridgeline slightly to the west of that whole section of the map. And you're in a little bit of a defilade because there's kind of a hill between the two sections of the map, and if you make that approach, you can approach without getting spotted. And then there was this awesome flank. Every turret was pointing in the wrong direction. There's ways to counter out that northeast movement, but now the south has more options, I think, in the east side of the map. Whereas in the west, it's pretty much unchanged, I think. There's almost been no changes. There's
Not that I know with any rocks or anything. I think
the
it's
southwest
the same.
had a while back, I think. There was this one big tall rock that used to be completely impassable, but now you can kind of crawl over it with tanks. There's that now, I guess, but it doesn't really affect anything.
Well, I always love the 1390s going way to the southeast and hanging up in those mountains waiting for somebody to come grab them.
That's a great trap position. It was there before, but it's been altered a little bit. I think it makes it better, though.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into the first battle of tonight. For the first matchup, it's #RU versus SIMP.
Taking a look at these tanks. In the blue, you have #RU sporting a 2 Pershings and 3 1390s. On the other side, SIMP in the red will have a Object 416, a Pershing, 3 1390s, and look at this. They're going to have Mac G and Fedge both in lull tractors. So they're taking advantage of that view range and some penetration on those tanks. Interesting change up.
Here we go. Time to roll out indeed. Abrasive in the 1390. Leading the charge as they make sure they destroy the supplies, but you can shoot through them now, I heard.
Yeah, I believe you can. I haven't really had much success shooting through objects to try and pen anything. Just
it's kind of the mechanics in your brain you're still used to.
It's like when
not
physics
shooting
came
through.
out. When physics came out, I was not used to it. And I was driving, I used to do all these scout runs that just worked, and then all of a sudden I was damaging myself by falling off cliffs and sliding around and stuff. And yeah, it's when new things come into the game, it takes a little while to get used to. I'm really waiting for some of these pros to become just amazing at shooting through solid objects.
Godzilla mode in the 1390, going to hang back a little bit right next to the bush and the rock cover to the west. There's nothing happening to the west side, though. The northern position of SIMP has gone for the eastern valley. And
on the side of SIMP, we've got actually...
Where's Endo going? That's what I always want to find out.
Yeah. Well, I'm on him right now. He's chilling out, leading the way, kind of scouting it out. Interesting to see Endo doing it. He's not usually the scout. I've been seeing Blue Boy's captain as a scout player, but Endo is leading the way in the southeast. We've got control from SIMP into the east side of the map. They've got some tanks chilling out around. Mac G is going to be going far to the south. They're going to try and put him in a bush probably somewhere. Fedge is kind of defending the base. He's looking right up the middle and right at an approach from #RU.
Godzilla mode still staying next to Rill. Adroxus is spotted in the Pershing a little bit farther out, and this is that Pershing push along with, both Pershings. Subaru Impreza and Angry Granny are going to be going down slowly but surely.
Rill and the T1 Cunningham is taken down.
Yep, he falls from the Sing shot in the Object
now
416.
Subaru is spotted.
He's very, very cautious here. His Pershing right behind him, Angry
He
Granny.
should know he's spotted right now, but he's going to continue forward, actually. It's probably a really solid move.
Let's go to the next rock. That's what he's doing. Gotta
He
stay behind
understands
that
the
cover.
positioning of SIMP. They know SIMP is in the east. They've figured that out at least well enough. Now Fedge is going to try and run away, but of course he's in a lull tractor, so he's a little bit slow. And he's not going to get caught out here. He's going to go to a new position, hide behind a new rock, and just get comfy.
Subaru Impreza on the Pershing at 1440. Good HP value for a medium tank, but also it's the armor to the front and the view range for the Pershing that makes it so desirable for many of these teams to be using it. But look at SIMP. their positioning of their light tanks moving faster and closer to the flag cap to the south, they could activate a trigger that would make the turret breaks happen for Team #RU, making them look to the south, which would be a small window, but a big enough window for an opening for SIMP to move up from the Eastern Valley and get a couple shots on these Pershings, if they're still scouted.
Maybe. But there's something I'm actually noticing out of Sing. This is a really cool thing. The Object 416, it's so low to the ground, you know? How it has trouble finding a proper hold down in many of the conventional positions. But Sing is in a really cool spot because he's actually a little bit in a hold down in a spot that no other tank's really going to find that. He's going to be able to drive forward and find himself in cover where a Pershing would be very well exposed on this high ground. And yeah, just barely into that deflate and he's safe. It's great. I love it. Oh, and actually Angry Granny the Pershing is spotted.
Yeah, he is spotted. He did spot one of the 1390s. Shot fired, and that's a bounce. Another one, though, from the 1390 from Blue Boy's captain. That does hit Angry Granny. Angry Granny now with another hit, and he's tracked. Another shot with a bounce against the Pershing. 1390 from Endo from far away. Tries to get another hit on Angry Granny. Angry Granny trying to determine to either to go back, taking maybe another shot from the left, and he could from the 1390, and Heavy 20 does land that shot. Angry Granny takes another hit to the front. That Pershing is now super low, but the L tractor falls to Mac Tep.
That'll be very nice. It's actually Fedge going down. Mac is still alive on the far side of the map. He will not be able to really command this battle, but great crossfires out of Simp right now, putting it on the damage. Endo from the south, you get Heavy 20 and Blue Boys in the far north. And Angry Granny's really hurt. He's really hurting right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to use him that much. They need to find a hold down position where he's safe, but it's hard to find one that's perfectly safe in this part of the map.
There is no safety in World of Tanks. You have cover, and you have getting blown up, and that's what happened to Angry Granny on that left flank from the north. That 1390 did expose himself a little bit, which could have allowed the one tank all the way to the north, Maktep Putin, to maybe get a shot on him, but he would have been overexposed himself, and he doesn't know exactly where those Pershings are aiming at from a Droxus and the other Pershing next to him. Now, two tanks are still lit up, Heavy 20 and a Droxus. Heavy 20
Putin
moving
gets
further
spotted,
to the
Sing
south.
goes up for a shot, and he's not going to find it.
Oh, he's trying to line it up, but it's not going to be there. Angry Granny's turning around to the other corner. Simp still has a possibility of putting some pressure from the south with those two light tanks down there. The other light tanks up to the north covering the Pershings with their long distance.
It looks like Blue Boys might join that group in the south, but he also might decide to just scout the middle of the map using his 1390's higher camo value and good view range to try and take advantage of that. It looks like they've actually moved. That is Endo, I think. Yes, Endo is all the way to the south. If he gets spotted out, that could prompt a push out of #RU. But that's risky because they might leave their cap exposed. Endo is hunting for T1s right now. And he does find Kazo. Kazo tries to run away. Endo misses the first shot, and he's going to go for the next one. Will he get... And no! Is that a track? He tracked Kazo! And there it is. Third shot gets him down. T1 advantage going to Simp right now. They can put the cap pressure on, and they need to get Endo out of here and back behind safe lines.
Subaru Impreza the Pershing moving back and forth. Between the bushes, still at the same spot that Angry Granny was close to earlier on, but has not a shot lined up yet against the 416 or the Pershing. He may, however, get a shot on that little tractor from way far away. Fires, it is a miss. And the L tractor Mac G will continue to move closer to that map position where the flag is getting closer. One shot coming towards Subaru Impreza. It is a miss. And Subaru falls back a little bit here.
Right now, if I'm Simp, I think I want to put Mac G in the backfield, try and sneak him back there. But because he's so out, he's really out there right now. And actually, I see a light tank closing the distance. If no one's covering him, which Endo looks to be coming on in, Mac could go down for nothing. They don't want to do that. They need Endo there to deal a little damage and make killing Mac G, activating the Mac tech, to actually come to something. And Mac will actually, curiously, not spot a light tank as it approaches Mac's position. Now there are two light tanks. That's Godzilla mode. He is spotted. But who is with him?
I'm trying to find out exactly where Godzilla mode is.
Godzilla mode's in the
There
far
he is,
south.
all the way to the very south.
He's
It's
got a
with
battle
Abrasive.
buddy.
It's with Abrasive.
Ah.
I was looking to see why the Pershing, Subaru, and Angry Granny were moving down to the south, but there's no full commitment. They only scouted one or two, and that was it. Now Simp's going to be able to swing from the east
And now
into the north side and push
they've
down
kind
to
of
the south.
got #RU surrounded. #RU stuck in this ditch. And wow, shots fired, connections onto Abrasive. And Putin will be spotted as Sing, Adroxus, and Heavy 20 look to be trying to jump on maybe this Pershing or other members of #RU. They're kind of in a pincer for taking this on. Endo to the south, everyone else to the north.
Godzilla mode moving further to the south. He will see the red base under attack, but it's only one tank that is committed. Godzilla mode moves in a little bit closer, sees MacG. Does he fire? He waits. MacG fires out, and then MacG falls.
But
However,
shots onto numerous tanks. Angry Granny taking damage. Subaru taking damage, and Godzilla mode takes down. Heavy 20 takes down the Pershing. Now Subaru is the only one left. There looks to be Focus Fire, Abrasive, and Endo are dueling it out.
But MacTep in that 1390 could be in a good position to swing in, but he's being covered by one of the Pershings and one of the light tanks that could stop his move in to help Subaru. Subaru takes a big hit from behind. That's from Endo. Endo with the surround kill. Now only 2 takes remain for #RU to fight the good fight against SIMP. SIMP is low on some of their HP values for their tanks, but with the damage output, especially for Blue Boy's captain moving in against Putin, no Russian general can save him here. The 1390 now going to be surrounded by 2 of these, or one of the autoloaders, the 1390 and the Pershing, pushing in against Putin. Blue Boy's captain. He may be reloading here. I think he is.
And I think Putin's given up at this point. He stopped, said GG, just gonna let him kill him, so they can get on to the next one. One more shot for the
Pershing to get the reload, and they are going to follow Godzilla mode. Godzilla mode over to south. Adroxus on the run gets the nice shot.
Oh, there's actually 48 seconds left in the battle. If Godzilla mode can escape, he could reasonably draw this out. He's got almost full health. But actually, as I say that, he just gets lit up down to 375, and he actually is able to take someone down on the move.
Sing on the move in the 416, but SIMP is able to take game number 1. Nice play by SIMP. Using that northern approach was smart because it gave them some better map control and way better angles against #RU's position. And with that isolation to the north, was able to shut them down tank by tank by tank.
Yeah, #RU just kept giving ground and giving ground and giving ground. And SIMP took it. They recognized their advantages, and they didn't play as slow as we've seen them in the past. They're a little bit more aggressive, I'm saying. But it was still a slow game. SIMP just slow played it all. And I think that's probably what we're going to see out of the rest of their battles. Just slow play, play it slow, get the early damage that they want, and then push it over at the end once they have some kind of advantage.
When we come back, battle number 2 of match number 1 for tonight, #RU versus SIMP. Stay tuned. You're watching World of Tanks Gold League. What happened to your face, man?
What? I didn't take the blindfold off. I wanted candy. I was just like, candy.
We saw some blind fire last night when that one T1 got killed from across the way on Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, at the last second. The last second of Himmelsdorf. That was so cool.
I tried to go back and watch it on Twitch, but we went to the victory screen before it happened, so I got to load the replay itself to see.
Okay. Well, I saved them and sorted them all for you, so it'll be easy to find.
We got them. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 2. SIMP versus #RU. The map is going to be Cliff.
Taking a look at these tanks, we have a Pershing, a T-69, and 3 1390s for the side of #RU. On the other side, SIMP will be sporting an STA-1, a T-69, and 3 1390s. Also, look at Fedge in the Lol Tractor.
He's still rocking that Lol Tractor.
It's a good tank, man.
I'm not saying it's bad, but I think he's trying to make a statement.
I agree with you there. Fedge is a rather flamboyant guy. He would definitely be making a statement.
He's a troll, but he's a good troll. Well, let's see if this is going to be a central engagement once again, or will there be a special trick off somebody's sleeve here, out of somebody's sleeve here. I don't think it's going to be the case. It looks like they both go in the central way. We saw some teams try to play on the west side, and then even an east side turnaround push and flank, but it was not beneficial to those teams. And Godzilla mode's going to be leading the charge in that 1390.
This STA is actually making really good time. Adroxus did have the worst spawn of the team, but he's going to get there in time. And now Heavy 20 and Endo will actually get the shot on Abrasive, giving a little health advantage. More shots going out, no connections yet, and a lot of trading happening here, Clutch.
Abrasive is the first one to take some hits on the side of #RU, 871 out of 1100 in his tank. He fires into Sing. Sing takes a hit, but Sing disappears. The STA, Adroxus, does not have a hit on him because the rocks are covering Abrasive. Another shot coming out from Godzilla mode. He has taken a hit at 870 against the STA, but that shot did not land. T-69 Sing getting closer. Adroxus takes another hit. Godzilla mode peeking around the corner of that 1390, trying to line up another shot. Looking over at Blue Boy's captain on the top of the mountain. Shot fired towards him, that did not land. Singh has now spread himself, or put himself over.
Ooh, Abrasive
across
takes a
the
shot
spread.
just as he goes dark. More advantages going to Simp. Although Adroxus, he is a little bit beat up. He's at about 1,042. Actually, wait, no, that is Adroxus. Wow, Adroxus went down to 1,042.
But he was able to get to the other side of the mountain. That's what he's trying to push for.
Yeah.
Along with, or Singh was in the T69. But Adroxus, he is just around that corner, it looks like, on that side. And Blue Boy's captain is the only one spotted for the side of #RU.
Yeah, I'm waiting for some kind of decisive move out of either of these teams. I don't think squaring off in the middle and just kind of punching it out is the best way to do it, treating it like heavyweights. You need to be a little bit lighter on your feet. Or on your tracks, I should say.
Well, it's a figure of speech, but it makes sense here in World of Tanks. Abrasive at 840. Look at him bobbing back and forth behind the rocks, trying to look for any opening to hit heavy 20 in that 1390. That is, again, the only tank that is scouted. And now Blue Boy's captain is the only tank that's scouted for #RU.
And he spots Putin in response. None of the 1390s in about Foxtrot 5 are spotted. They're just sitting there in the dark. Simp's having a little bit of trouble trying to make something happen. They're kind of pinned all in Echo 6. They've got one tank in D5. That's the STA-1 kind of covering this position. But everyone is kind of in one real concentrated lane of fire. That's just the way it is. Just not a lot happening for Simp in this battle. Is #RU working on something? I see two tanks over on the minimap in the west.
That is a possibility coming out from these two light tanks, but that they're not the T1. Jumping over, it's Rill, one of the T1s. Subaru Impreza is the other one, the 1390.
Subaru would have some great shots if someone could spot for him.
Well, he could move further to the north and then swing around and focus fire on one of those medium tanks from Simp, at least trying to pull back
Mac G's dead.
that cover. Now, I was about to ask you if it was Mac G covering the east side. He was in that T1.
You jinxed
That
him.
does leave the east side open. If Subaru Impreza and one of the medium tanks or light tanks decide to go for a pincer attack, Subaru coming from the west to east and then east to west, that is a possibility to get some serious fire, at least on the T69 or on that STA in the back. Adroxus from the STA fires, misses Subaru, but he takes a hit himself and he backs up.
This looks like it might be the move. Simp's moving forward. Singh takes a hit, but he puts a shot onto Angry Granny, but he takes a few more hits and is down to 666 hit points. Yes, this is the engagement. Endo and Heavy 20 focused on Abrasive. Now they will go for Godzilla mode. And they may take him down. 427, 214. One more solid hit, but a track shot will keep him alive just longer, and Heavy 20 will finish him up. But now, Subaru and Preza will have rear shots as Heavy 20 and Endo are going to focus on Putin or Angry Granny.
MacTep Putin out 371 of that T69. Endo trying to move in for the kill. Fires, Heavy 20 gets the cleanup. Angry Granny in the Pershing. Now at 932, tries to focus on Endo. Endo falls back. Subaru moving in for the side flank. However, there's way too much firepower coming out of Simp from the north. Angry Granny now the last tier 8 on the map at 659. T1 trying to cover his retreat, but it's too little too late. 437, another shot coming out of Blue Boy's captain. That one was a miss. Adroxus and Heavy 20 pushing up. Heavy 20 gets the ram kill, and then Blue Boy's captain gets the cleanup. Rill, last one left alive here for #RU. He's going to be surrounded by Endo. Endo goes for a crash, and he takes a little bit of damage, tries to get the speed up again. It's real back and forth. Oh, man, back and forth. Endo's like, all right, I'm sick of this, takes a shot, and Simp is able to lead it up 2-0.
Just holding back for a long time there. Simp taking damage, trading it around, and deciding, I didn't really see what was really the trigger. There was a 1390 out in the west side of the map, but he was able to still put fire in support of his teammates. Simp took a bit of a risk there.
It was a bit of a risk, but it was a calculated risk, and they knew they had done significant damage against the medium tanks, against the 1390s, and they knew the STA could push in if they were in too much trouble.
Yeah.
They could back out. The STA had plenty of health, and it was not an autoloader, so he could make some of those kind of finishing blows or mid-range blows that was necessary to track a tank or to clean it up.
How did the STA do, by the way?
Let's go ahead and jump to the team score. The STA was driven by Adroxus, almost said piloted. Well, you could still say that. And he penetrated 4 for 9 of the shots. And I was playing a lot of the STA today.
Yeah.
And with the range, it's tougher to penetrate. The penetration value, off the top of my head, I think it's around 290 for the heat shells.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but
It's still better than the T69.
that's true. So you have that advantage, but it comes down to the speed of the tank. The speed's not bad either. So you kind of have some not bad values.
It's kind of like the Pershing. It's a lot like the Pershing. It's about the same maneuverability. It's about the same damage. It's got higher pen for the most part, I think. And the gun just performs better. It does better DPM, which I think probably came out and helped them, because as I look at the STA's performance and I look at the Pershing, now Angry Granny and the Pershing performed admirably, getting 7 for 7. Every single shot pens for him. But the STA actually got to put out more fire in that battle. He got to put out more shots and did a reasonable amount of damage.
And the STA is a new tank. The Japanese tanks have just been released in patch 8.10. And I've been having a lot of fun trying to play them. I was playing some tier 9s and tier 10s today. And they're quick. They're quick tanks, but just the damage output is a little bit tough.
They
I have
don't
to get used to it.
They don't hit that hard, just like a lot of mediums will kind of do that. A lot of medium and light tanks don't hit so hard. And you're probably used to more heavies, aren't you, Clutch?
I'm used to the T-32.
Yeah.
And the T-32 is not the hardest hitting tank, but it hits well enough.
It hits like a T9 medium and a tier 8 heavy tank. That's a lot of tier 8 heavies have hit about that range. And so mediums generally hit kind of a tier lower damage, so they do about 240 damage. And you as a heavy driver, think that's like not doing so much. But when I play mediums and I like get to like the patent and stuff, the patent hits so hard for me as a medium player.
Oh, it does. And
Yeah.
I was playing a lot of the patent before then, but even the Pershing hits pretty well for a
The
medium
Pershing
tank.
hits just pretty much average, and then just under that is of course like the Panther 2 hits for like 220, and then now the T-44 hits pretty hard, and it's 250.
It also makes a difference too in matchmaking when
Yeah.
I'm in a tier 8 and I'm being matched up to tier 9s and tier 10s.
Yeah.
I'm going, it's tough
You-
compared
you
to
can make it work.
fighting tier 8 and below,
Yeah.
you know.
It's just you turned on hard mode, also better experience mode.
That's true.
When you fight tanks that are above your tier, when you damage those tanks, you get more experience and credits for damaging them than damaging lower tier tanks. When you kill little piddly T1s or something and you're a much higher tier, you're not going to get a whole lot for that.
That's true.
But if you're like a tier
But it's still
5
fun.
light and you go mess up like some E100s and some IS-7s and stuff, you're going to get mad experience.
Well, the first time I ever played a Chaffee, I got rank 1.
yeah,
The rank
see?
1 medal. That was awesome. Let's just go ahead and jump into battle number 3. The map is going to be on Himmelsdorf. #RU or SIMP. SIMP could close it out, 1 victory away. What do we have for tanks, Randall?
Looking at these tanks, we got 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s for the side of #RU. On SIMP, they're going to be sporting that 110, 3 AMX 5100s, and an IS-3. So bring in a little DPM in that 110, lots of burst with those 5100s, and then the Alpha with a single IS-3. I like that setup. It's a really solid build.
Oh, this IS-3 versus the 5100s with, do you bring 3 or do you bring 2? Well, Atraxis throws a wrench in that equation because of the 110. And I have been liking the performance of the 110, especially with Fulcrum Gaming bringing it. But what do you miss out when you bring a 110 compared to an IS-3?
You're missing
Is it
out
the
on
speed?
it. You're just fast enough. You're still
Okay.
pretty fast. Actually, you might be a little bit more maneuverable. I think it's lighter. It seems lighter on its feet to me, or on strikes. But it's got better DPM. Just lacks the alpha. It trades off alpha for a little bit more DPM, hitting for 320, just like the T-32 does with the 105. And it has a stronger Shuka. That Shuka is much sharper and is more likely to bounce. But you don't have spaced armor in the sides. And that is kind of a con next to the IS-3, which performs really, really well and absorbs plenty of damage with the side armor. We'll see Heavy 20 possibly, yes, just now, reverse angling in his IS-3.
Endo is taking a shot in that 5100. He fires into Angry Granny's position. Another shot that hits. Abrasive leading in the IS-3. And SIMP is spread along the west, and they could get a nice flank on these tanks, but the reverse flank is going to come in from the IS-3s, but the 110 Adroxis is going to hold out against them.
Drox is getting off a little damage, making them run the gauntlet. Godzilla mode does close the distance, but they might be walking into a crossfire. Oh, Adrox is able to put out more damage, but Blue Boys might be going down in a moment. Yes, he's down to 49 hit points as Singh tries to relieve him. Singh goes in and just focuses down Putin, and he will be able to finish him off. There it goes. Now Subaru has to face 2 tanks, and now Subaru fires. Blue Boys will jump into this fight. Blue Boys, get out of there. Subaru's going to reload and finish you off. Yes, Singh is reloading.
Well, to the north side along the Delta line, Adroxis is going to push up in the 110. Another bounce Adroxus gets the kill against the 5100. That's Shuka leading the way. Another bounce from Abrasive. Godzilla Mode finally gets a shot into Adroxus. 502 HP left for him. Abrasive takes a hit to the front. He actually looks like there's another bounce. Endo takes a big hit, though. 608. But Adroxus in heavy 20. Focusing on Abrasive. Abrasive trying to get the last shot on that 5100.
But the cap, clutch the cap. And it does get delayed. Kazo in the T1 still has cap points, so 29 seconds left on the clock. Endo is on the way to stop it.
Well, the blue base, 23 seconds left. Endo focusing on the T1s. T1's running for cover.
Oh,
Endo crashes into one.
But look, Singh is 1v1ing against Subaru. And actually, it looks like he's going to have a battle buddy. Adroxus coming in. Singh's reloaded, but he is unable to get that kill as Subaru will fire faster than him.
Endo, 521 out of 1400, just trying to save a shot against this T1. However, that T1 is being very, very annoying.
Adroxus onto Subaru, and he will finish him off.
And now it's just one tank away, and Endo knows it's over, takes a shot for the victory for SIMP. 3-0, I guess, #RU. That's going to shut down all the rumors saying that #RU could take down SIMP. It was a good fight, but SIMP
looked really good.
Really strong.
I liked it. It was active, especially on Himmelsdorf. Very active approach to the map. Cliff and Steps was a little bit slower, a little bit more pensive, but it still was effective. It was very effective, and it wasn't like what we saw in Season 1. Season 2, they got a little bit faster. Season 3, we're seeing a lot more improvement out of SIMP. This time, it's a little bit closer to something that could reasonably take on Fulcrum Gaming.
Well, it's different type of strategy and style. You were with SIMP when you before you came over here to the studio.
I used to nag them though about being slow. I'm one of those guys that's like blitzkrieg forward best direction kind of guy. So I always was that guy on the team.
Well, I think the key indicator was on Steps.
Yeah.
Especially with them leaving the safety of that Eastern Valley and moving across the north, which was a great position for them to take because it allowed them to get those shots on those tanks that were going to be surrounded, especially when half of them, or both the Pershings, are still on the road or falling back to the road.
Yeah, SIMP has always been good at that, taking advantage of their opponent's mistakes. And when #RU made that mistake of pulling back and giving ground, SIMP picked up on that and instantly made the right reaction, pushing in and creating a bit of a concave on their opponent. Just SIMP doing a great job and doing even better this season, starting off very strong.
Well, our next matchup is going to be No Limit versus Hammer Time. Hammer Time has a win so far in Season 3. No Limit has one loss from last night, but these two are going to face off. When we come back from a quick commercial break, don't go anywhere. You're watching the Wargaming.net Gold League.